Friends, I want to remind you today that you are not here by accident. You are not a mistake. You are created for greatness, for purpose, and for impact. 2025 is not just another year. It is your year to rise higher, to step into new levels, to walk in the fullness of your destiny. There have been people who underestimated you. Some have overlooked you, counted you out, walked away, or told you that you couldn't do it. But here's the good news. Their approval was never needed for your destiny. The people who doubted you, they will look around one day and feel your absence. They will realize they let go of someone who is destined for greater things. See, sometimes people don't recognize your value until you're no longer available. But that's okay. You are not here to live for validation. You are here to live for purpose. In 2025, make a decision. You're not going to waste time proving yourself to people who were never meant to see your worth in the first place. This is your time to rise. You've spent enough time in the background, enough time waiting for someone to open a door for you, enough time settling for less than what you deserve. In 2025, you are shifting gears. You are moving forward. You are stepping into a new mindset, a new level of favor, a new level of opportunity. Don't worry about the people who left. Don't stress over the ones who don't see your value. The right people, the right opportunities, the right doors, they will find you. But first, you have to find yourself. You have to believe in who you are. You have to know that you are called, you are anointed, you are destined to be above and not beneath, to be the head and not the tail, to be a lender and not a borrower. 2025 is not the year to beg for a seat at the table. It's the year to build your own table. It's the year to move in silence and let your results do the talking. It's the year to rise higher, to stretch your faith, to chase after your dreams like never before. When they look for you in the same old places, they won't find you. When they reach out expecting the same old version of you, they will realize you've outgrown them. They will feel your absence, not because you were bitter, but because you were busy building what God put inside of you. Get ready, because this is your season of acceleration. This is your year of open doors. This is your time to rise higher and never look back. Deep within you, there is a seed of greatness. It is not something that the world can give you, and it is not something the world can take away. Before you were even born, before you took your first breath, there was a divine plan set in motion for your life. You are not here by accident. You are not here just to go through the motions, to survive, to struggle, or to merely exist. No, you were created with intention, designed for a purpose, and destined to leave an impact that only you can make. There is greatness inside of you, waiting to be released, waiting to rise up, waiting for you to step into all that you were meant to be. But here's the challenge. Life will try to convince you otherwise. People will come along and try to put limits on you, telling you what you can and cannot do. Some will doubt your abilities. Some will make you feel small. Circumstances may arise that make you question your worth, your purpose, or whether you're even capable of doing something significant. But let me remind you today, no person, no setback, no failure, and no mistake can cancel the greatness that is within you. It may be hidden, it may be buried under past disappointments, but it is still there. Your job is not to listen to the voices of doubt, but to awaken that seed of purpose inside of you. Think about an eagle. When it is young, it may not look any different from an ordinary bird. It may be surrounded by chickens, pecking at the ground, never realizing that it was born to soar. But the moment that eagle discovers who it truly is, everything changes. It spreads its wings, and what was once ordinary becomes extraordinary. That's what happens when you recognize your true potential. You stop settling, you stop doubting, and you start walking in the confidence of who you were always meant to be. The problem is that too many people live their lives never realizing they were made for something more. They get comfortable in mediocrity. They accept average because it's familiar. They let fear keep them in the same routine, doing the same things, surrounded by the same people who don't challenge them to grow. But you were never meant to stay in one place. You were created to stretch, to rise, to go higher. When you refuse to settle, when you choose to believe that there is more for you, that's when doors start opening. That's when new opportunities find you. That's when you begin to walk in the fullness of your calling. That you have gifts that the world hasn't seen yet. You have talents that have yet to be developed. You have dreams that have been placed inside of you for a reason. But those things don't just come to life on their own. You have to stir them up. You have to step out in faith even when you don't see the whole picture. You have to take bold steps even when it's uncomfortable. The greatness inside of you doesn't just show up when things are easy. It comes out when you refuse to give up, when you keep pushing, when you keep believing, even when things don't look like they're working in your favor. Maybe you've been through setbacks. Maybe you've faced rejection. Maybe you've tried and failed, but don't let those things define you. Setbacks are not the end. They are setups for your comeback. Every struggle you faced has been preparing you for something greater. Every challenge has been shaping you, strengthening you, and equipping you for what's ahead. When you understand this, you stop looking at your past with regret and start looking at it as training ground for the person you are becoming. There is a higher version of you waiting to be revealed, a version of you that is confident, bold, and unshakable. A version of you that doesn't shrink back in fear, but steps forward with purpose. A version of you that doesn't settle for less, but rises to new levels. But you have to make a decision. You have to decide that you are no longer going to let doubt, fear, or the opinions of others hold you back. You have to decide that you will no longer sit on the sidelines, watching others rise, while you stay stuck in the same place. It's time to take action. Rise up and step into who you were created to be. There is greatness in you that the world needs. There are people waiting for the impact only you can make. Don't let fear keep you from your destiny. Don't let insecurity rob you of your purpose. You have been given everything you need to succeed. Now it's time to activate it. It's time to rise higher. It's time to walk in greatness. Before you were born, there was a plan for your life. You were not placed on this earth by accident, nor were you meant to simply exist without purpose. Deep inside of you, there is a seed of greatness, potential that is waiting to be unlocked, dreams that are waiting to be realized, and a destiny that is far greater than anything you can imagine. But the key to unlocking this greatness is recognizing that it already exists within you. You don't have to go searching for it somewhere else. You don't need someone to hand it to you. Everything you need to rise higher is already inside of you, waiting to be set in motion. The problem is that many people go through life never realizing the potential they carry. They listen to the voices of doubt, the negative opinions of others, and the limitations that society tries to place on them. They settle for less, not because they aren't capable of more, but because they have been conditioned to believe that they aren't enough. But let me tell you today, you are more than enough. You are capable of achieving things you never thought possible. The only thing standing between you and your greatness is your willingness to believe it. Think about an oak tree. When you look at an acorn, it seems small and insignificant. If you didn't know any better, you might think it was just another seed. But inside that tiny seed is a massive tree, one that can grow tall and strong, providing shade, beauty, and life for generations. The potential for greatness is inside the seed, but it must be planted, nurtured, and given time to grow. The same is true for you. There is a greatness inside of you, but if you never believe in it, if you never step out in faith, it will remain buried beneath fear, doubt, and hesitation. Some people never tap into their greatness because they are too focused on their past. They allow past mistakes, failures, and disappointments to define them. They replay their failures over and over in their minds, convincing themselves that they are not worthy of success. But let me remind you, your past does not determine your future. Every setback, every mistake, and every challenge you faced was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. It was meant to teach you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for the greater things ahead. The question is not whether you've made mistakes. The question is whether you will let them hold you back or use them as fuel to propel you forward. There is a reason why you have dreams that won't go away. There's a reason why you feel a calling deep inside of you, even when you try to ignore it. That's not by accident. That's greatness trying to break free. That's the destiny inside of you calling you to rise higher. But the choice is yours. You can either shrink back, allowing fear to keep you in the same place, or you can step forward in faith, knowing that you were created for something more. It may not happen overnight. It may require effort, patience, and perseverance. But if you refuse to settle, if you refuse to quit, you will see the greatness inside of you come to life. Sometimes the road to greatness is lonely. Not everyone will see your potential. Not everyone will support your vision. Some people will question you, doubt you, or even try to discourage you. But don't let that shake you. Greatness often requires separation. You cannot soar with eagles if you are surrounded by chickens. You have to be willing to leave behind the negativity, the distractions, and the relationships that no longer align with your destiny. It doesn't mean you don't love people. It means you are committed to becoming the person you were created to be. You were never meant to stay at the same level. Just like a butterfly cannot stay in a cocoon forever, you cannot stay in the same mindset, the same environment, or the same routine if you want to step into your full potential. Growth requires change. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone, taking risks, and believing in yourself even when others don't. The moment you decide to rise higher is the moment you take control of your destiny. It's the moment you stop waiting for permission and start taking action. Deep down, you already know that you were made for more. You can feel it, you can sense that there is something greater inside of you, something waiting to be unleashed. The question is, will you step into it? Will you rise above the distractions, the doubts, and the fears? Will you believe in the greatness that is already inside of you? Because the moment you do, everything changes. The moment you recognize that you were created for more, you start living with a new sense of purpose, a new level of confidence, and an unstoppable determination to rise higher than ever before. Too often people live their lives seeking approval from others. They measure their worth by how many likes they get, how many compliments they receive, or how much recognition they are given. But the truth is, your value does not come from people, it comes from within. You don't need someone else to tell you that you are talented, worthy, or capable in order for it to be true. You were created with purpose, with gifts, with something unique to offer the world. And whether people recognize it or not, that greatness is still inside of you. When you rely on validation from others, you put your confidence in something unstable. People's opinions change. One day they may cheer for you, and the next day they may criticize you. If your self-worth is built on their approval, you will always be on an emotional roller coaster, happy when they praise you, discouraged when they ignore you. But when you know who you are, when you are secure in your identity, you don't need outside approval to feel complete. You don't need applause to feel successful. You don't need validation to walk in confidence. Think about some of the greatest leaders, innovators, and world changers in history. They didn't wait for permission to make an impact. They didn't need everyone's approval to step into their calling. Many of them were doubted, criticized, or even laughed at when they first started, but they didn't let that stop them. They believed in their vision, even when others couldn't see it. They moved forward, even when they were misunderstood. That same resilience is inside of you. You don't need the world to agree with you before you take action. You don't need validation to go after your dreams. Some people will never see your worth, not because you aren't valuable, but because they aren't meant to recognize it. You can be the most talented, hardworking, dedicated person in the room, and some people will still overlook you. But that's okay. Their opinion does not define your potential. Just because they don't acknowledge your greatness doesn't mean it's not there. Don't waste your energy trying to convince people of your value. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself and let your success speak for itself. One of the biggest traps in life is living for approval. When you constantly seek validation, you give people power over your happiness. If they praise you, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel discouraged. But what if you decided today that you don't need their approval anymore? What if you chose to be confident in yourself, whether or not anyone else believes in you? That kind of mindset is powerful. It frees you from the pressure to please people and allows you to focus on what truly matters, your purpose, your growth, your dreams. Not everyone will support you, and that's okay. Some people won't understand your vision. Some will doubt your ability. Some may even try to hold you back. But don't let their lack of belief shake your confidence. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need their permission to succeed. If you keep moving forward, if you stay focused on your calling, the right people will show up at the right time. The right doors will open. The right opportunities will find you. But it starts with believing in yourself first. You have everything you need inside of you. The talent, the wisdom, the determination. It's all there. You don't need to wait for someone to notice you before you start working on your dream. You don't need validation before you take that next step. If you feel called to do something, go after it. If you have a passion, pursue it. The world doesn't determine your worth, you do. The moment you stop seeking validation and start trusting in your own potential is the moment you step into your true power. So rise up with confidence. Walk boldly in your purpose. Stop waiting for someone else to confirm what you already know. You are strong, you are capable, and you are more than enough. You don't need validation to be great. You already are. Now go and live like it. There will come a time in your life when you have to walk away, not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. You will outgrow certain people, certain environments, and certain situations. Not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level. Some people will only value you when you're always available, always giving, always there to fix things. But when you step back, when you stop pouring into people who don't pour into you, they will feel your absence. They will realize what they took for granted. You have spent enough time proving yourself to people who never saw your worth. You have given your energy to relationships that drained you, to conversations that discouraged you, to environments that never nourished your growth. But 2025 is not the year to stay stuck. This is your time to rise. And in order to rise, you have to be willing to let go. You don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to explain yourself. Just move in silence. Focus on your growth and let your absence do all the talking. Some people will only realize your value when they no longer have access to you. They didn't appreciate your loyalty when you were always there. They didn't respect your time when you gave it freely. They didn't acknowledge your efforts when you kept showing up. But the moment you shift your focus, the moment you start investing in yourself instead of them, they will notice. They will look around and realize that something is missing. You. That's when they will see what they had. But by then, it may be too late. It's not your job to convince people to respect you, to appreciate you, or to value you. Your presence should be a privilege, not something that is taken for granted. The right people will see your worth. The right people will cherish your time, honor your efforts, and support your growth. But the wrong people, the ones who dismissed you, ignored you, or overlooked you, they will feel the weight of your absence more than they ever valued your presence. You are not walking away to hurt anyone. You are walking away to heal, to grow, and to step into the future that was meant for you. Some people will misunderstand. They will question why you're not as available as you used to be, why you're not answering every call, why you're not showing up to every event. But that's okay. You don't need to explain. Those who truly care about you will support your evolution. And those who don't, they were never meant to be part of your next chapter. Stop watering relationships that no longer grow. Stop chasing after people who don't see your value. Stop showing up for places that drain you instead of fueling you. When you start prioritizing yourself, when you start valuing your own time, energy, and peace, you will begin to attract people and opportunities that align with your worth. And those who didn't appreciate you before, they will be left wondering why they ever let you go. There is nothing wrong with distancing yourself from people who no longer align with your journey. You are not being selfish. You are being wise. You are protecting your peace, guarding your purpose, and making room for the blessings ahead. So don't feel guilty for choosing yourself. Don't feel bad for walking away from what no longer serves you. The people who are meant to be in your life will respect your boundaries. And those who don't, let them feel your absence. This is your season of elevation. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will support it, but that's okay. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep leveling up. Because when they look around and realize you're no longer where you used to be, they will feel your absence and they will finally understand what they lost. There are some things in your life that were never meant to be carried into your future. Some relationships, some opportunities, some habits. They had a purpose for a season, but now that season is over. If you're going to step into the greatness ahead of you, you have to be willing to let go of what's behind you. You can't move forward if you're still holding on to the past. You can't receive new blessings if your hands are full of old baggage. It's time to make a decision. Will you keep looking back at what's already done, or will you step boldly into what's next? Too many people get stuck reliving past mistakes, past disappointments, past heartbreaks. They replay the what-ifs in their minds, wishing things had turned out differently. But no amount of regret can change the past. No amount of dwelling on yesterday will make today any better. The only way to move forward is to make peace with what was and focus on what's ahead. You may not have control over what happened, but you do have control over how you respond. You can either let it hold you back, or you can use it as fuel to push you toward your destiny. Think about a runner in a race. If they keep looking over their shoulder, checking to see who's behind them, they will lose momentum. They will slow down, lose focus, and risk stumbling. But the fastest runners, they fix their eyes on the finish line. They don't waste energy on what's behind them. They keep pressing forward, giving everything they have to what's ahead. That's the mindset you need. Don't let distractions, doubts, or past failures keep you from running your race. Keep your eyes on your future, because that's where your breakthrough is. Some people will try to pull you back into who you used to be. They will remind you of your past mistakes, your struggles, your weaknesses. But you are not the same person you were yesterday. You have grown. You have learned. You have evolved. Don't let anyone make you feel like you have to stay stuck in an old version of yourself. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. You are not meant to live there. Maybe you lost something or someone that meant a lot to you. Maybe life didn't turn out the way you expected. That pain is real, and it's okay to acknowledge it. But don't let it define you. Don't let what you lost make you miss what's coming. Every ending is a new beginning. Every closed door is making room for something better. You have to trust that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. It's time to shift your mindset. Stop focusing on what went wrong and start focusing on what can go right. Stop dwelling on who left and start embracing the ones who stayed. Stop mourning missed opportunities and start preparing for the doors that are about to open. When you stop looking back, when you free yourself to step into something new, something greater, something meant for you. You were created for progress, not stagnation. Life moves forward, and so should you. Growth requires change. Success requires movement. You can't stay in the same place and expect new results. So shake off the past, release the weight that's been holding you down, and step forward with boldness. There is something amazing ahead of you. But you'll never see it if you keep looking over your shoulder. This is your moment. This is your time. No more second guessing. No more dwelling on yesterday. The future is calling, and it's time to answer. Move forward. Don't look back. Everything in your life starts with your mindset. The way you think determines the way you live. If you believe you are limited, you will live a limited life. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will settle for less than you deserve. But when you shift your mindset, when you start believing that you are capable, worthy, and destined for more, everything changes. Your actions follow your thoughts. Your habits follow your beliefs. If you want to rise higher in 2025, you have to start by shifting your mindset. Too many people are stuck, not because they lack talent, opportunity, or potential, but because their mindset is holding them back. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I don't have what it takes. And as long as they think that way, they stay stuck. But here's the truth. You are not limited by your circumstances. You are only limited by your mindset. When you shift the way you think, you shift the way you live. When you start believing that anything is possible, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what your life will produce. But if you plant seeds of faith, confidence, and determination, you will begin to see a harvest of success, joy, and breakthroughs. You have the power to choose what thoughts take root in your mind. Instead of dwelling on what you can't do, start focusing on what you can do. Instead of thinking about what could go wrong, start expecting things to go right. That simple shift in thinking can change the entire direction of your life. The way you talk to yourself matters. Too often, people speak defeat over their own lives without even realizing it. I'll never get that opportunity. I'm always struggling. Nothing ever works out for me. But you have to be careful with your words, because your words shape your reality. Start speaking life over yourself. Say, I am strong. I am capable. I am walking into new opportunities. Favor follows me everywhere I go. When you change the way you speak, you will start to see doors open that you never expected. One of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is to stop seeing failure as the end. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every mistake is a lesson that makes you stronger. The most successful people in the world have all failed, but they didn't let failure define them. They learned from it, grew from it, and kept going. If you want to rise higher, you have to stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the process. Another powerful mindset shift is to move from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality. A scarcity mindset says, there's not enough to go around. If someone else succeeds, that means I can't. But an abundance mindset says, there is more than enough success, happiness, and opportunity for everyone. When you believe that good things are on their way to you, you attract them. When you celebrate others' success instead of feeling threatened by it, you open the door for more success in your own life. You also have to shift from a mindset of waiting to a mindset of action. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to give them permission, waiting for all the conditions to be just right before they start. But the truth is, the perfect time will never come. You have to take action now. Step out in faith. Do what you can with what you have and watch how doors begin to open for you. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you will accomplish in life. If you want to go higher in 2025, start thinking higher. Expect greater things. See yourself as capable, worthy, and equipped for success. Because the moment you shift your mindset, you shift your future. You don't have to chase after every opportunity. You don't have to force things to happen. When you are walking in your purpose, when you are focused on growing, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself, the right opportunities will find you. You won't have to beg for doors to open. They will open at the right time. You won't have to convince people to notice you. Those who are meant to see your value will see it. What's meant for you will always find its way to you. Too many people live in a constant state of striving, thinking they have to push their way into success. They wear themselves out trying to get people to like them, trying to make the right connections, trying to prove they belong. But when you are aligned with your purpose, you don't have to struggle to be seen. The right people, the right places, and the right opportunities will be drawn to you, not because you are chasing them, but because you have prepared yourself for them. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't run around trying to find the sunlight. It stays planted, takes in the nourishment it needs, and grows at the right time. When the conditions are right, it breaks through the soil and reaches toward the sky. Your life is the same way. You don't have to stress about when things will happen for you. Keep planting, keep growing, keep believing, and at the right time, opportunities will come looking for you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they have to be in control of everything. They try to manipulate situations, rush the process, and open doors that aren't ready to be opened. But when you force something before it's time, you risk missing out on what was truly meant for you. Sometimes what looks like a delay is really divine protection. What seems like rejection is actually redirection. If you didn't get that job, if that relationship didn't work out, if that opportunity slipped through your fingers, don't be discouraged. It just means something better is coming. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not on its way. Some doors take longer to open because they are leading to something greater than you imagined. Some opportunities require you to grow into the person who is ready to receive them. Trust that the timing is perfect, even when it doesn't feel like it. What's meant for you will not pass you by. Instead of chasing opportunities, focus on becoming the kind of person who attracts them. Work on your skills, build your character, stay consistent in your efforts. The right opportunity isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are becoming. When you are prepared, when your mindset is right, when your heart is in the right place, the opportunities meant for you will show up at the exact moment you are ready for them. You don't have to compare your journey to anyone else's. Just because someone else got their breakthrough before you doesn't mean you're behind. Your story is unfolding in its own unique way. Stay in your lane, keep showing up, and trust that your time is coming. There are doors being prepared for you right now. There are opportunities being aligned in your favor. You may not see it yet, but behind the scenes, things are shifting in your favor. So stop stressing, stop worrying about when and how things will happen. Keep doing your part, and let the right opportunities find you. What's meant for you will always come at the right time, in the right way, and with the right people. Get ready. Your moment is on its way. You were never meant to beg for a place where you don't belong. You were not created to chase validation, to plead for acceptance, or to shrink yourself just to fit in. If they can't see your worth, if they don't value what you bring, if they make you feel like you have to fight just to be noticed, that's not your table. It's time to stop knocking on closed doors, stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't appreciate you, and start walking in the confidence of knowing that the right opportunities, the right people, and the right spaces will recognize you without you having to beg. Too many people waste years of their lives trying to sit at a table that was never meant for them. They compromise their values, water down their personality, and tolerate disrespect just to feel included. But if you have to diminish who you are to be accepted, then you're in the wrong room. The right people won't make you beg for a seat. The right opportunities won't require you to become someone you're not. When you are truly walking in your purpose, the right doors will open without you having to force them. Maybe you've been overlooked. Maybe you've been rejected. Maybe you've been told you're not good enough, not qualified enough, not the right fit. But let me remind you, rejection is not the end of your story. Sometimes the doors that don't open are God's way of redirecting you to something better. You don't have to sit at their table when you were meant to build your own. Stop trying to squeeze into places that don't value you and start focusing on creating your own path. Think about it. Some of the most successful people didn't wait for permission to be great. They didn't waste time begging to be included. They built their own platforms, created their own opportunities, and let their work speak for itself. When you stop seeking validation and start walking in your own power, you become unstoppable. You don't need a seat at their table when you can create a space where you and others like you can thrive. There's a difference between waiting for an invitation and realizing you were never meant to be a guest. You were meant to be a host. You were meant to lead, to create, to innovate. The tables of influence, success, and opportunity aren't reserved for a select few. They are for those who refuse to settle, those who are bold enough to carve their own path, those who understand that their gifts and talents make room for them. The truth is, when you stop begging for a seat, when you stop trying to fit in, you become more powerful than you ever imagined. You start attracting the right people, the right connections, the right doors. People will begin to notice what they once ignored. Those who underestimated you will be the same ones who wonder how you did it. And by then, you won't even be looking back. You'll be too busy walking into your destiny. So stop pleading for a chance. Stop waiting for someone to choose you. Choose yourself. Step boldly into your purpose. Keep working, keep growing, keep showing up. And when the time is right, you won't have to beg for a seat at the table because you will have created something even greater. And when they finally realize your worth, when they finally see what they missed out on, it won't even matter. Because by then, you'll be sitting at the head of your own table. You don't have to announce every move you make. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. In a world where people broadcast their every step, where they seek approval for every decision, there is power in moving differently. Work in silence. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Let your success do the talking. Too often, people waste energy trying to convince others of their potential. They feel the need to explain their dreams, justify their decisions, or seek validation before they even begin. But real growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the quiet, in the discipline of daily effort. In the unseen moments when no one is watching, the greatest victories are built behind the scenes. Think about the strongest trees in the forest. Their roots grow deep underground before anyone ever sees their height. They don't rush to be noticed. They don't seek approval. They simply grow, and in time, they become unshakable. Your journey is the same. The work you do in private, the sacrifices you make, the consistency you commit to. Those are the things that will build your success. When you talk too much about your plans, you open the door for unnecessary opinions, distractions, and even envy. Not everyone will support you. Not everyone will celebrate you. Some will doubt you. Some will discourage you. And some will even hope you fail. That's why it's better to move in silence. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them be surprised when you rise. When your results speak for themselves, there's no argument, no debate, only undeniable success. Some people get caught up in seeking applause before they've even accomplished anything. They talk about what they're going to do, but they never take the steps to actually do it. But the ones who truly make an impact, they don't waste time announcing their every move. They let their results do the talking. While others are talking, they're working. While others are seeking attention, they're building. And by the time people notice, it's already done. Success is not built on words. It's built on action. Every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every world changer you admire, they didn't spend their time bragging about what they planned to do. They put in the work. They sacrificed. They stayed consistent even when no one was watching. And when the results showed up, the world had no choice but to take notice. There's a saying, lions don't have to roar. Their presence speaks for itself. Be like that. Keep working, keep grinding, keep growing. Don't waste energy explaining yourself. Let your results prove your dedication. Let your growth show your discipline. Let your transformation silence every doubt. And when the time comes, when you've built something undeniable, when your success speaks louder than any words ever could, then and only then will they realize what you've been doing all along. By then, you won't even need to say a word. Your results will say it all. Fear whispers lies. It tells you that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. It magnifies obstacles, makes problems seem bigger than they are, and paralyzes you with doubt. But faith sees the impossible and believes anyway. Faith looks at the mountain and says, move. Faith knows that no matter how difficult the journey, there is something greater ahead. If you want to rise higher in 2025, you have to choose faith over fear every single time. Fear will always try to keep you stuck. It will remind you of past failures, make you second guess your abilities, and fill your mind with worst case scenarios. But the only way to truly move forward is to step out in faith. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel afraid. It means you don't let fear control your decisions. It means trusting that even when you can't see the full picture, the path is still being prepared for you. Think about this. Every great success story started with someone who refused to let fear win. The entrepreneur who took a risk, the athlete who pushed beyond their limits, the leader who stepped into the unknown. They all had moments of doubt, but they didn't let that doubt define them. They moved forward in faith, trusting that if they kept showing up, kept believing, kept pushing, they would reach their breakthrough. And they did. You may be facing uncertainty right now. Maybe you're standing at the edge of a big decision and fear is telling you to stay where it's safe. But playing it safe won't take you to the next level. Growth requires risk. Expansion requires stepping into the unknown. If you never take a leap of faith, you'll never know what could have been. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Step out anyway. Faith says, I don't have all the answers, but I know I'm guided. Faith says, even if I stumble, I will rise again. Faith says, what's ahead of me is greater than what's behind me. When you walk in faith, doors open that you never expected. Opportunities come looking for you. People are drawn to your confidence. Your energy shifts, and suddenly things start falling into place, not because you had it all figured out, but because you trusted enough to take the first step. Fear wants to keep you small. It wants to keep you stuck in your past, worried about what could go wrong. But faith calls you higher. Faith says there is more in store for you. Faith reminds you that every challenge, every delay, every struggle is preparing you for something bigger. You weren't created to live in fear. You weren't designed to shrink back. You were made to rise, to step into your purpose, to believe in something greater than your circumstances. So the next time fear tries to stop you, choose faith instead. Walk boldly, speak with confidence. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you. And when doubt creeps in, remind yourself, I am stronger than this fear. I am walking in faith. I am stepping into everything I was created for. Fear has no power over you when faith is leading the way. Step out, move forward, believe, and watch how everything begins to shift in your favor. Faith over fear. Always. You've been waiting, preparing, and working behind the scenes. You've been faithful in the small things, pushing through challenges, staying committed even when no one was watching. Now get ready, because this is your season of acceleration. What took others years is going to happen for you in months. Doors that were once closed are about to swing wide open. The delays, the setbacks, the slow progress, it was all part of the process. But now, things are shifting in your favor. There are moments in life when everything seems to move at a slow pace. You plant seeds, but nothing seems to grow. You put in the effort, but you don't see the results. But then, suddenly, things start to happen all at once. What seemed impossible becomes possible. What was taking years suddenly takes weeks. That's what acceleration looks like It's a supernatural momentum that pushes you forward faster than you ever imagined. Maybe you've been feeling stuck, like you've been circling the same mountain over and over. Maybe you've been working hard, but the results haven't matched your effort. Don't be discouraged. Your season of acceleration is coming. The things you've been praying for, working for, believing for, they're closer than you think. When it's your time, nothing can stop what's meant for you. Acceleration means you won't have to struggle the way you used to. What once felt difficult will start to feel effortless. Connections will align, resources will come, opportunities will present themselves. And it won't be because of your striving, but because of divine favor. You're stepping into a season where things will fall into place faster than you expected. But here's the key: you have to be ready. When acceleration comes, you can't hesitate. You can't shrink back in fear. You have to step into it boldly. This is not the time to doubt yourself or question whether you're worthy. This is the time to move, to take action, to step through the doors that are opening for you. You've been prepared for this moment. Now it's time to embrace it. Some people will look at you and wonder how things turned around so quickly. They'll see the favor, the opportunities, the growth, and they won't understand how it all happened so fast. But what they don't know is that you didn't skip the process. You went through the preparation. You endured the waiting season. You stayed faithful when nothing was happening. And now you're reaping the rewards of your patience and persistence. This is not just another year. It's a year of acceleration. Expect things to shift. Expect breakthroughs. Expect sudden, unexpected blessings. What took others a lifetime, you're going to accomplish in record time. The doors that once seemed locked are about to open. So wide that you'll wonder why you ever doubted. Get ready. Stay focused. Move with confidence. This is your time, your moment, your season of acceleration. Everything you've been preparing for, everything you've been working toward, it's all coming together. This is not the season to hesitate. This is not the time to doubt yourself. You've been planted, you've been growing, and now it's time to rise. Doors are about to open, opportunities are about to find you, and favor is about to accelerate your path in ways you never imagined. So walk boldly, step forward in faith, move with confidence, knowing that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to beg for it. Just stay ready, stay expectant, and watch how everything shifts in your favor. This is your season. This is your moment. Acceleration is here. Now go and step into it.